What is good, everybody? Welcome to the podcast edition of AV Educate. I know, different look, right? Beard, glasses, beanie, whole different background. Yes, it's Bodie, by the way. Hi, how are we doing tonight? Yeah, so as you can see, it's a little bit different. Omar is on a gig, so he asked a few special invites of people to come in, and it looks like the panelist of AV Tech Talk kind of took over this one. So, without further ado, I am going to bring in the co-host for tonight, Ed.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Long time no see. I feel like I was just here last week, doing some hosting duties. I guess I've been demoted to co-host this week, but that's okay because I'm glad to play second fiddle to Chris Bodie Brown. So very excited to be here. Thank you guys for joining on another episode of the podcast edition. So I think we should just get right into it and invite our guest, Disa Cameron, to join us for her panelist spotlight tonight here on the podcast. Welcome,
Hey
and how
guys.
are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well,
Yeah.
we're excited to have you as well.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's
How y'all doing tonight?
doing great. Very excited again. I mean, we just saw you Monday, so it's like twice in a week it's just a treat. So thank you for coming on.
You say treat. I was going to say it's a little too much, but hey, we each have our own varying opinions. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Bodie, you are not the first man to tell me I'm a little bit much. Okay, I'm not offended.
That's funny. So Disa, people may know you from being a panelist on AV Tech Talks.
Mhm.
What I actually found interesting when I found out that you have 20 years in the AV industry. Can you tell us maybe like how you got your start in AV? 20 years. I mean, were you like a child? Were you like a toddler doing AV? You can't be.
I was in my teens. Yeah, so it
Okay.
was about grade 10, I would say. And basically, we had a rock school. If you've seen the movie, it's actually pretty similar to that. So, Steve Sanis, props if he's checking out this. He was my high school music teacher, and he really helped me flourish both as a musician, but also as a technician. And it wasn't long before they realized that, wow, she really knows what the heck she's doing. I was operating the scissor lift and best manager I've ever worked with. Oh, thanks. Good to see you, Doc. Hope you're doing good. And yeah, I was my first console was a Soundcraft, a 36 channel analog girl all the way. And then I got started with some lighting, follow spot operating. I think I was about to mention there. And yeah, we did have $1 million theater in my high school. So I was really fortunate to have a lot of tools to get started early.
Wow, that's
No, Omar
crazy.
said we look great. I greatly appreciate that. If you don't know, that is the man behind this entire community that we have here, AV Educate, by the way. I prepped a lot for this show just to make sure I look good for you, So I'm happy we look good.
That's why I live to make Omar happy. So
Don't we all? Don't we all?
so tell us. Okay, so you started out in high school theater, and then where did you move to from there?
Well, so we had somebody come visit our school one day. His name's Kevin Williams, and he currently runs, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's escaping me, Session Wire, which is, lo and behold, it's like he could see the future. It is literally for remote studio work.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. But at the time, he was running what is now Nimbus Recording Arts School.
Okay.
And back then it was in his basement. Again, he had an amazing studio set up, and I was one of 3 students in his class that he takes on. So it was a very hands-on approach. And it was basically condensed from what you would learn in a 2-year program into a 6-month program.
Wow.
And you got tons of studio hours. Naturally, you're only competing with 2 other people for time. So by the time I was about 18 years old, I already definitely had, they say it takes 10,000 hours to really perfect your craft. And I definitely had my 10,000 hours at that time. And it was really tough to try and find job placement. A lot of people didn't take me seriously, even though I paid a lot of money and I worked full time to put myself through school, making $9 an hour. It was terrible. I hated it. But my music teacher said, "You know what, Disa, just stick it out. You're gonna make it." I had a lot of people in my corner really believing in me and knowing that I had what it took. And 15 years later, I'm still with the same company that kind of gave me my first shot. So it was for the release of the Toyota Yaris back in 2005. There was 13 tractor trailers in Whistler. Pyrotechnics. We flew in a rigging specialist from Europe, and
Wow.
it was insane. That was my first real gig in AV. And I was doing warehouse work at the time. So unloading a tractor trailer and pushing cases around a ballroom was not a big deal for me. And so, yeah, I was two girls on a crew of 152 technicians.
Wow.
One and two girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. What's that like? Being one of very few women on a crew.
It's interesting. You kind of end up, especially getting started at the age of 19, 20 years old. And I was brought on as full time. So, as full time local crew, you automatically become crew chief. We flew in a lot of techs from out of town. Toronto would come and support the road shows that were coming through. And so, again, really hard to get taken seriously. And it takes a lot of diplomacy for sure. I am a Libra, so I do have the gift that I can try and make a man do something and make it seem like his idea. So that is the approach that I would take, definitely, if I were to give any of the female technicians out there, like, definitely speak your mind when you need to. But at the end of the day, we're all here to do a job together, and we have to keep it professional. So you have to see the bigger picture. But it's been a tough road. I've since had some pretty interesting text messages about experiences being a woman in AV. So yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
I can't imagine.
So you are an audio engineer and you're the current VP of MPI Ottawa. What is that exactly?
MPI Ottawa, it stands for Meeting Professionals International. We're a not-for-profit association on a global level, and we basically, we're an association of planners and suppliers that work in the live events industry. Our Ottawa chapter is actually about half and half supplier and planner ratio. And it's really for professional development. So we do education sessions, networking sessions. And all I can say is, in terms of being a member, you really get what you give. Being VP, it's a lot. It's, sometimes 10, 20 hours of volunteer a week if it's a busy week for us. But yeah, I definitely enjoy it. And I feel like, especially moving from BC to Ottawa, which we haven't really got into yet, how I ended up here doing what I'm doing now. I feel like I was just kind of implanted into a really buzzing community and just welcomed with open arms. And I really don't know what I would do without that community.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's almost its own full-time kind of job. Where do you find the time to do all that? I can't imagine how busy you must be. 'Cause, I mean, you alluded to working for the company you're with for the past 15 years, but you actually didn't mention the name of that company. Who are you working with?
I'm currently with Encore and formerly FMAV, and I'm a legacy Frischkorn.
Okay, what does all of that mean?
Well, Frischkorn was a privately owned, family-run business for over 30 years. And then we were purchased by PSAV about 7 years ago now, 6 years ago. No, sorry, 2 years ago for that. Norbert Frischkorn retired about 7 years ago now. And since then, we've gone through some rebrands and everything like that. And that's how we've ended up as Encore, which is now a global organization. It's huge, and for me personally, I get to reap the benefits of better dental. I finally have eyeglass coverage, which is something I've never had. And they do RRSP matching. It's really like I know it's a little bit like selling out. People kind of might think of that, but for me, I'm a single woman. I like to be taken care of. So, yeah, definitely working for a global organization and all these tools in our toolkit, especially with the change that we're going through as such a massive industry. I'm loving it. I'm excited. I got my cheerleader pom poms on. Rah rah rah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Encore, I mean, right now is because of a series of acquisitions, they're one of the biggest AV companies worldwide. Is that fairly accurate?
100%. Yeah, there are a few of the brands that won't be coming under the Encore brand. They're mostly our UK partners, but we're moving away. We don't have AV in our name anymore for that reason, because we're not just an audiovisual event technology provider. We do content creation, um, really anything that you can think of. We're able to do it, as well as our partners at Concise that have our virtual platform Chime Live. So we really have a wide array. And if you're looking to make the shift into our industry, there's definitely a lot of options for you.
Okay,
That's
before we move a little bit further, Omar asked, "Is MPI worth it?"
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. He must not be listening. I really just said, like, you get what you get 100% tenfold. So if you just sign up for a membership, don't go to events, don't engage in the community, naturally you're not going to see any ROI on that investment. I'm very fortunate to have employer support. We are a sponsor partner on a global level with MPI. So that is how I fell into it. But really, honestly, I can tell you it's worth it for sure. For sure. If you're looking to get to the next level in your career path, I would definitely invest.
great. Yeah, I mean, there are so many organizations that sometimes you wonder, but it doesn't sound like, if you want that where you have to ask that question. But MPI, I just looked over their website and I posted a link in the chat. Seems
Thank
like
you.
it's one of those great organizations. So I'm gonna actually look into that and see if there's a local chapter anywhere near me. But again, I still can't get over how much you do and when do you sleep and everything.
I'm every woman. It's all in me.
Speaking of music, didn't you just produce a album?
I'm still working on my album, actually, but yeah, it's been a few years in the making. It'll be my very first album ever, and I've been playing music even longer than I've been doing AV. And I'm a certified audio engineer, so I don't have an excuse of why I haven't done it yet. But but yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I've kind of figured out what the theme's going to be. It's going to be called The Writings of Her Years, and it's going to be a concept album. So the whole album, each song is going to be a chapter that tells a story.
Oh, so you're
And
taking a Coheed and Cambria feel to it. I like that.
yeah,
I
I
like
get
I
it.
that.
love
And
I
I
love
think it's
Coheed
funny
and
that it
Cambria.
goes back to that because the last time me and Ed were on the show together, I was actually interviewing Ed and found out that he is a huge Coheed and Cambria fan, which I knew nothing about, which is
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
But how was that recording during COVID? That had to be hard.
No, it wasn't hard at all. It was amazing. I got a little drunk. Ed was there. He popped in. I was like,
I guess that's the best way to
Ed!
do it, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
It was entertaining. I'll say that.
It's definitely very different, though. It's not as organic as the studio, and I have to kind of relinquish a lot of the control that I have when I'm in the studio. When I'm there, I say, here's how I want the vocals to go. Oh, no, I got to redo that part. I can hear everything as it's being comped and mixed. And then, right down to any session players I have come in. I work with Shane Stevens. I know him from Rock School. So those connections stay with you. And he is such a great drummer, and he's just such a can-do guy. It's like I'll get him to come in and literally do kick, snare, snare, and he just does it with a smile on his face. And then I'll say, and by the way, you're going to do a drum solo in this song. No problem, Disa, I got you. So yeah, I really love working with Shane. He's amazing. And normally I get right in there, right in his face. I grab the sticks out of his hand and I'm like, here's how I want you to do it. Boop, 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 boop. And then he'll do it, right? But I have to relinquish all that control and just, I'm fortunate that it is a team that I've already done quite a few tracks with my producer, Tim Newhouse at Ear Art Music Studios in Delta, BC. Mad props to him if he's watching. And Shane Stevens as well. They've like both done some tracks with me, so they know kind of what I expect. But I am live on Zoom in real time, so I can see what's going on and hear what's going on, and I can give input. And then Tim actually had my sound patched into the talkback mic. So I was able to, anytime he turned the talkback mic on, I could talk directly to my session players or directly to Timmy and tell him what I wanted. And then it was also pretty cool. It was more efficient because normally I'm in the vocal booth and I'm recording and he's got to wait for me to finish my performance until he can start comping. Whereas this way, I was able to just send him tracks and go off and record them, send him some tracks for him to comp. So while he's comping my verse, I'm already over here recording the chorus. So it's actually kind of really effective. Yeah, really efficient in that way for sure. And then naturally, as we moved on to the next part, he'd do some coaching with me and go, instead of da 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 da, let's get you to go da 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 or whatever, right? So, but yeah, I do feel like Timmy, working with him really takes my music to the next level. Does knowing the tech side give you a different perspective?
That's a great question. That's actually what I was thinking in my head.
Well, it's a little different when it comes to my music because I'm there to do art, to be creative. And I am working with, honestly, the man, the myth, the legend. Like, he is phenomenal. He's had a studio over 20 years and yeah, he knows his stuff. So I'm not about to tell Timmy how to do what Timmy does. But definitely I would say it helps with me understanding. If I'm going to sing into a microphone, I understand proximity effect and how moving closer will make me sound bassier and I can be a little more sultry and a little more sexy. Whereas if I back off, this is like, I'm going to belt it out. I'm going to talk really loud. So naturally, I understand the theory behind that. And I'm not just moving around because I think I should. Or with guitar, I understand I got to stay really effing still if I'm going to mic as opposed to plugging in to a DI. But I mean, I am doing electronic dance music. So everything that I'm performing in the studio, I'm not looking to be the Beatles or, any of those classic rock bands where it's one take, get it perfect. I'm really just looking for like a good 8 count because it's going to be sampled, right? So all of it, essentially the idea behind Dramatic, which is my artist name. You can check me out. Maybe Ed will be so noble to put a link in the chat for you. But yeah, the I is a 1, so Dramatic with a 1 instead of an I. That's my artist name. And it's electronic dance music where the samples are actual musicians playing the sounds. So if you hear a shaker, it's very possible that I ordered pizza and that was the chili flakes that it came with. We just get really creative with how we concoct all of those ingredients.
That's pretty cool.
That's great. And I will say, your producer Timmy. So when I popped in to check out the session that you guys were working on, and you showed me how he was comping some of your vocals, amazing. I was actually, with how quick he was doing, I was watching it and I was paying attention, and I was very impressed with.
He's a machine.
Yeah, no, super quick, super efficient.
And he hunts. He's hunting. He knows exactly what he hears in his head, and he's hunting. Which one did she do it on?
Yeah. No, it was really good. And I was interested in the process. That's why I actually asked if I could pop in and what technology you guys were using and how you were recording and sending your tracks. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I thought that whole process was interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So I have right now my little MBox 2. I got it back in like 2006 when I decided. I bought a fancy Mac and I was going to have a modest home studio setup. And it's still working. It was a little bit interesting to try and find the what is it? The driver. Sorry, I'm trying to pull out all these techie terms here. And yeah, so I found the driver. That took a few hours. And then I needed to find a program to record with. That took a few hours. And then finally I'm like, I'm gonna hit the easy button on this. And I hit up Ed. I'm like, hey Ed, so because I got it working. I found like a Audacity. Is that
Audacity, yeah.
Audacity? Yeah. So I was able to record, and then I had another consultation call with Timmy, and he's like, "Well, if you're," because I told him I rented this keyboard behind me. I don't know if you can see it. I call her Black Beauty. She's lovely, but I said, "Yeah, I want to. I want to do some keys because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Right? I play everything. So, beauty of a multi instrumentalist. It's like I don't want to sample. I just want to play it and then we'll make it sound the way that we want it to sound. So he's like, well, then you need MIDI. And I'm like, oh gosh, this thing's not doing MIDI. And so Ed found Reaper. So I've been using Reaper for that and it's worked out great. And then, as Omar alluded to, obviously I can figure out how to do all this stuff on my own because I paid for a piece of paper that says I know what I'm doing. And then, I just kind of reaffirmed throughout the journey, like, are these the levels that you'd like? Make sure nothing's clipping. And then I bought, like a bubble to go around it to get rid of any room noise. So I did spend a little bit of money. And then this mic itself, I've already had this for a number of years, and my DJ headphones. So yeah, I do already have a few of the tools to put it all together. It was just a matter of making it work. And then I don't want to waste anyone's time. I want to show up prepared and ready to record. I don't want to be sitting there troubleshooting why the MIDI's not working or anything like that. So yeah, definitely you need a lot more preparation. For sure. So a few consultation calls with your producer, understand what it is that you're looking to achieve. But I'll be honest, I really don't come prepared with the actual music. I like have an idea and I have maybe a couple sample tracks that have inspired the vibe. And we kind of figure out it's like mathematics. It's like, what BPM do we want it? This one's too fast. This one's too slow. Or, I actually worked with Nicholas Falcons. He's a coworker of mine at Encore, and he makes beats, and he collaborated with me on this project. So very different sound having another person in the equation, which is very exciting for me. I really don't want an album where every song sounds the same. And I feel like there's a little bit of something for everyone. There's some rock and roll. There's some hip hop. There's one of my tracks I've already got booked with Timmy to do in late February is going to be a full on house dance. So that'll be pretty cool. And then at the same time, I'm going to do a totally stripped down, just me and an acoustic guitar kind of power track. So yeah, so I feel like there's going to be a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a handful of those tracks. You gave me a sneak preview of them, and it is a very well-rounded collection so far, from what I've heard. And for someone who calls himself an EDM artist, there was a lot of live instruments that you can tell. There's like guitar solos and some stuff, and I can hear that there was live keys, not pro. The drums were played by a person. They might be looped afterwards, but you can tell that there's authentic musicianship going on in these tracks. Not just not what I typically think of when I think of EDM, being that's not something I listen to on a regular. But it was definitely pretty cool. Definitely.
Well,
cool.
it's hard to put me into a genre, so that's why I'm going with electronic dance. Because I am trying to do something that's new and innovative, but also have, lyrics that speak to the youth. I kind of hot boots in my yoga Pilates camp, like I kind of make up words and I talk about like swiping right and double tapping and I try and be relatable to a younger audience that they're gonna be into it. So, and my new single "Be Who You Are," which is available for a free download or pay what you want on my website, dramatic.ca. It is about online dating, and it's kind of a call to action to just be who you are and stop being fake on your profile and just embrace the skin that you're in.
Cool.
Well, as somebody who actually really enjoys EDM dance, I'm gonna have to check it out because I
Aw.
definitely go super deep in not just your scrape surface Skrillex or anything like that. I'm Dead Mouse 5. I'm I don't even know if I can really say it. Bastard Lee Ra, which is a straight EDM dance. It's like a crossfade of ska and Slayer, if anybody knows who those bands are. But I love EDM, and it's like a touchstone point for me. And I really like EDM when it comes to lyrical EDM as well. Instead of just beat and electronic, I do love lyrical EDM. So definitely
Yeah.
gonna check
Well,
that out.
you have the lighting for it.
I can make it go faster too. Hold on.
You know, we're getting to almost half past the hour. Oh, nice, Chris.
So I gotta shut that down. So
You got to get that on. You got to
seizure
get that
somebody out.
You got to get that on sound activation.
It actually is. I just haven't set that up yet, and I'm afraid to set that up because of yeah. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about Disa, so we'll leave that one alone.
But
Show me the light.
we're getting close to half past the hour. So if you have any questions out there, get them into the comments.
Grill me.
Omar has put in a couple great questions. Again, Omar, it looks like he was asking.
I haven't even talked about all the things that I do yet, Ed. And I saw Omar wants to know where I find the time, but I also manage a hip hop artist by the name of Robbie G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, so is that? I have seen, and I think we might have talked about. You used to do consulting and managing. You had your own company.
I ran a production company for about 7 years.
Okay.
And at the height of it, I did have about 12 bands on my roster. We were sending them on cross Canada, North American tours. One of my bands was signed to distribution through Universal. So yeah, a few of them were growing to be pretty big names. And Doc, who you saw comment right when this first started, he was one of my bands that I worked with. I worked with them for about 3 years, I believe. But yeah, I kind of I feel like I gave up on my music to pursue management and to pursue the technical side of things. And now that I'm here in my mid 30s, not having a midlife crisis, but it's like, I have all of this potential and I have a message to send. And I think it's time for people to hear it and for me to just buckle down and do it. Oh, you're still watching, Doc. Oh, you're so sweet. Yes. Yeah, you guys broke up on me. Oh, it was so sad. But is there maybe an Inside It Field revival in the mix? Huh? Come on, Doc. Come on.
So tell us, so you're managing an artist now too?
Yeah, Robbie G, he is a Canadian hip hop artist and he is a very rare breed. He's literally a full-time musician and he's had to completely pivot his own entrepreneurial business due to COVID. He successfully did 26 shows in 2020, if you can believe it. Part of that was with a headliner named Mad Child, who you might recall from a little group called Swollen Members. So yeah, he's definitely worked with some huge notable artists. He's opened for Snoop Dogg, Sean Paul, Sean Kingston, Mobb Deep, like all sorts of huge guys. And he's just such a genuine, he's got that it factor. He's got the look, he's got the personality. He just totally lights up a room, even through your phone. And I'm sure there's tons of his fans on here right now probably commenting, or I don't know if you can hit the heart button or anything. I can't see it on Facebook, but yeah, no, it's been great to work with him. I've been working with him since November 2019, but I've known him for about 4 years.
Wow, great. That's so. Again, how do you find the time?
That's serious. Like
we all get the same 24 hours in a day, but I can tell you that I live by my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, I'm probably gonna forget.
Fair enough. So what else do you have going on? You kind of alluded to some stuff that you have that you're working on. Have you been doing any big projects, or what do you got going on that you can talk about?
That I can talk about. Oh, I guess for work, you mean?
Yeah, anything, whatever, either way. I'm sure there's stuff for work that you can't talk about. I know you
I
guys
want
do
to
a lot
know
of.
that one.
How
I
many
want to know
hours
that
do
one
I
right there.
sleep?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I would say maybe about 6 hours a night. Yeah.
I would have guessed about 2, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
There's this thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's one of those motivational videos, and he goes, "Sleep faster. You don't need to sleep for 8 hours. You can sleep for 4. You can sleep for 6. Just sleep faster."
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So tell us what else do you have coming up? What's going on?
What do I have going on? Well, I mean, I am doing a large conference. It was a 9-month contract, and that's concluding in June 2021. And then I'm still working towards getting their program re-signed for the fall. And they've decided not to do a 9-month long program because it's 9 months of planning a giant conference once a month. So, yeah, it's like doing what they would normally do for one conference every month. So naturally, they've decided to trim that down. My market is mostly association, but I do have a little bit of corporate. So I am going to be talking with Shopify about helping them get on our presentation stages and get some more high caliber pre-recording done for that. And I think that we're just kind of moving into an era of hybrid. Everyone's really curious with hybrid. So from the Encore standpoint, we are going to be rolling out some educational series, our Professional Edge series, which will be available at encore-can.com. We're going to be rolling that out, and it's going to be all about how to hybrid. So that'll be the next era of our education, whereas our education in 2020 was all about how to go virtual and how to still create an engaging event that's not considered just another Zoom meeting or just another Facebook Live.
Right. I feel
Attacked? No.
attacked. Yeah, exactly.
I'm leaving you gentlemen speechless over here.
I know. So I think Chris, did we have a couple questions come in?
We did have a few come in. Derek Kohler wants to know how many tracks is going to be on your new album.
Oh, I'm just going for 10.
Okay.
And how many?
Yes.
And you have what? How many already?
4?
I need
completed?
to do 4 more songs.
So wait, hold on. With the metric system, I'm not sure how that works. Okay, I think I got it.
Omar's
Yeah.
coming in with some rapid fire questions as well. He wants to know who cuts your hair.
I cut it myself.
Well, okay.
This is my COVID at-home hairdo, my at-home
And,
balayage. Any hair
Victoria
tips?
absolutely backed that up.
Yeah, that's my older sister. Hey, sis, what's going on?
He also
Sweet
wanted
legs. Who's rocking them?
He also wanted to know: are you a late nighter or an early riser?
Both.
Yeah, if you're only sleeping 6 hours, you gotta be right.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of
Yeah.
are, right? Yeah.
I sleep like 11 to 6, 12 to 6 kind of thing. Yeah, I gotta admit, I haven't been sleeping the greatest since COVID happened. All the anxiety and not knowing when this is gonna end. It's totally freaking me out all the time. And when I'm in bed, it's the only time I have time to think about it. So
Have you? So if you only sleep 6 hours, have you tried doing like that spaced out sleeping where you do like 2 hours, then 2 hours, then 2 hours?
when I
It
was
doesn't work.
when
I've
I
tried.
when I was on shift work and I was DJing, I did that. Because I would be DJing till maybe 1, 2 in the morning, getting home around 3, and then I'd have a call time of 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. to be back at the hotel. And then I would have another DJ gig. If it was a Saturday that I was working at the hotel, I'd have another DJ gig at 6 or 7. So I'd get off around 3 and then go home, sleep for an hour. So yeah, that's the hustle. That's the hustle of my 20s is power naps for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been studies on that. Like I years ago saw a study where it was like they did 6 or 12 half-hour naps or something like that, or 6 half-hour naps, and then like 3-hour naps throughout the day versus like a 3-hour sleep or 6, whatever it was. And they broke
I
it
can
up in
sleep when I'm dead.
right. Well,
That's my theory.
sleep faster, right? That's
Yeah, exactly.
Sleep
The
faster.
sleep
I'm writing that
faster.
down.
The power nap worked
Arnold.
for me in my 20s, but now that I'm in my 30s, that doesn't work very well at all. That just makes me more tired. Or tired, or should I? I don't know what the proper English. Listen, I don't even try English. It's not my thing.
I have to say thank you so much to the people who are tuning in right now. I am floored that 24 people want to hear what I have to say. I'm blushing. And thank you to Ed and Bodie as well. You guys are fabulous.
No, our
I know
pleasure.
Omar just threw you right into this. Like, what the heck, Omar? You invited me to come here and you're not even here.
No, it's definitely our pleasure. One question that I'm going to ask, you're a panelist on AV Tech Talks. How did you hear about us?
It's actually my coworker / ex. Dun, dun, dun. Drama. He was like, yeah, because we just got into vMix. He's like, yeah, there's like this webinar about vMix. I'm going to check it out. I'm like, I'm going to check it out too. And as a salesperson, account manager at Encore, I have to sell these features to our clients, and I have no idea what the heck vMix is and what the heck vMix does. So I'm sitting there, and I don't think I could recall anything that you guys talked about for the 2 hours, but I asked a few really stupid questions like, oh, can you live stream 2 live streams at once or something silly like that? Like, I was just like, I got to look like I kind of am engaged. And then I saw a link or I think it was a text. I had to text somebody.
We used to have a text number.
Yeah. Tell me about the text thing.
Omar had set that up. He had we figured it would be a cool way to, to get people in. They could just text a number, and it went to like a one of those Google Voice numbers. So it wasn't like he wasn't putting his own, he wasn't like, hey, everybody, here's my digits. It was, a number that wasn't going to it didn't matter if it got spammed and stuff. But it was just a different thing than, like here's an email address or whatnot. But
so I texted it.
Cool. And that's how you found us, huh?
Yeah, so I texted it, and then you guys invited me to come on as a panelist, and I was like, I don't really know much about technology anymore. Like when I was a technician, it was still RGB cable and analog mixers, and digital consoles had just come, but it was still on our CapEx, so we only had a very limited quantity. And I just remember getting an LS9 stuck in front of me for a show, and the friggin' mute button is opposite. So when the mic is on, the light is on. And it was so confusing for me. And I just had to literally teach myself.
Right.
There wasn't a magical person who came and showed me how to use the digital consoles. So I was still, that was how I learned. Fake it till you make it is my motto. Let me tell you. I just, we got these new Barco 902s. You're going to use this on your show. And I'm like, there's no VGA, DVI, it's all digital, SDI, HDMI. We don't even have these cables yet. And so it was very interesting. And then they decided I could make a lot more money for the company because I was so great at dealing with the clients and the customer service side of things that they put me on a desk.
Speaking of the man, he's here.
Finally, hello.
I don't know if he was ready for us to pop him in, but
I think he's in a ballroom right now.
That's what it kind of looks like.
He's working.
I think it was Mike.
We're so jealous. You're muted. Quota 2021.
All right. Just let me know when you're ready. We'll throw you out. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. So anyways, as we were saying, I was RGB analog days. And so things have changed really quickly, and you guys have been a huge support system for me.
Now, has being on the show, or have you picked up anything from the show that has helped you since you've been a panelist?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I actually just show up with my questions. Omar, we're getting a lot of background noise from you, bro. Sorry.
Maniacs over here.
Wow.
They're just,
wow. Put him on big. Bodie.
That's what
No, this
Ryan
is all
looks
about
like,
you.
huh?
Don't worry about this. It's all about you. No,
Show us.
It's all about you. So I'm on a set in Texas right now doing a virtual event. So this is like our virtual sets, our stage.
Nice.
I'm with Pro Audio Video, E2, playback graphics, bunch of Zoom stuff, bunch of audio.
He's all like, I'm about to watch some TV tonight.
The guys that are back here, Maverick, Lewis, Andres, Paco, the man.
Hey, guys.
I can't
Meal
do it
break.
without this guy.
You know they're in the States. Nobody's wearing masks.
Yeah.
We just had dinner. We were eating. I thought you could.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're eating.
yeah. You can eat without a mask on. I'm
Yeah, you
pretty
can eat
sure
without
you
a mask
guys are in each other's
I was
bubble.
look. I still got my salad. I'm still waiting to eat.
Well, good to see you, Omar. Thanks for finally showing up to host your own
Oh, you
podcast
called me out.
here.
So as soon as it ended, I had to jump on now. Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't not show up now.
So Aaron Ledsim said, "How do you feel?" I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not even good with names.
Aaron
How does
Ledsham.
she-
Oh my
How
gosh,
does she
blast
feel
from
about
the past.
having to share the award for recording arts in high school? Kind of
Oh
Fluent
yeah,
back.
I totally forgot about that, Aaron. You could have had it. You know, I didn't even show up to walk across the stage. Believe it or not, I grew up. I hated being in front of people and being on stage. Like it was my biggest fear. And then I went on to become a performer and an entertainer and a musician. Yeah, Scott. Thanks for agreeing with me. Oh, gee, what up?
I'm just throwing this up right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was
Iris, thanks for the tour.
Chris, I guess you and I weren't doing well enough, so
I
Omar
guess
had to
not.
come in
I
and
mean, just
and start
jumps
pressing
in
buttons.
And starts pressing buttons and taking over. I mean, I
yeah.
see how it is. It's all good, brother. It's all
all
good.
right, I'm just a face now. I'm just here.
Full in a china shop over here.
No, he absolutely is.
I'm the worst.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are these questions you had prepared to ask me, Omar, that you didn't
I
send to
texted
anybody
them.
else?
We've been
They
asking.
asking.
We got it.
Yeah.
His one question.
I've been trying to dive more into MPI though. I want to hear more
he
about these
keeps. I was
benefits.
gonna say he keeps digging into this like MPI, like it's some magic gold river that you need to expose. So
Okay.
you want to kind of dig more into that?
No,
He goes,
just
he wants to
I'm
know
just curious,
more about
why-
MPI.
Right. Why MPI versus any other option?
Why MPI?
Yeah. Why MPI
Uh,
versus let's say like getting an Avixia certification or getting a project management certification from PMI, Project Management Institute. Why? Yeah. Why?
Well, it connects me to the planner side of things. It gives me a different lens to view the industry from, and gives me the ability to really empathize with what, like, put the shoe on the other foot, so to speak. It also gives you a sense of community. So if there's anything that you want or need for professional development, there's always somebody that you can go to for that, as well as the vendor side. You know, like it's not inexpensive to do. It is an investment. It's an investment from a company standpoint and a personal standpoint. You know, even if I do have employer support, I'm still giving up my time to volunteer, and especially at the board level, there's a lot. It really is. You have to treat it like an unpaid job, right? Like you still have to be very professional and very tactful in
Right.
your approach. And yeah, so I definitely think that MPI is a great community to become a part of if you're looking to advance your career.
And what about Avixia? Did you look into Avixia with their project management side?
I haven't looked into that. No. Why don't you share more about that? You seem very passionate on the topic. But
No, I'm just, so there's always other avenues of resources, right? Or educational
Yeah.
resources out there.
yeah, for
They
me,
all cater to a different
if-
market.
if I had any choice in the matter, I would probably go towards the Event Design Collective. I'm really good friends with Anthony Vade, who's the new North American representative. And basically, you get a CED, so you become a certified event designer. And that's more about the behavior change, so that entering and exiting behaviors that happen at events. But for us in the industry where we're at, we're a part of that event. We're a part of that transformation, and we're a part of that change. So our stakeholders are our clients, the people who are paying the bills, sponsors, attendees, and it's really about narrowing down those expectations of who are you going to please, because you cannot produce an event that's going to please everybody. And so as a partner, I'm not here to just give you a screen and a projector and a vmix and a live stream and a whatever, right? I'm not just here to give you the nuts and bolts. I'm here to help you create that change and create that transformation. So I feel like, it's very important for us to be able to put our shoe on the other foot and understand our clients' needs more intimately.
So would you say for anybody who's a technician or an engineer out there who wants to move over to the management side, this is a good course for you to take to kind of get yourself in the door a little bit and kind of meet those other ends?
I've actually heard a lot better things about the PCMA events, digital event strategist, the DES. I've heard really good things about that. But honestly, our Professional Edge series that we had rolled out in 2020 and that we're going to be bringing back in 2021 with the focus on how to hybrid, that does give you your CMP hours if you're looking to be a certified meeting planner as well. But that's going to be our internal, and people like Scott Richards, who are in the chat now, are going to be a part of that and educating our clients on the next wave.
Cool. So I see down here we got, and I'll let Chris read this one out. I'll butcher it. Randy Reedens.
Yeah, he says, Disa, what motivates and encourages you for your personal self-development?
Well, I've always been ambitious. I came from a rough upbringing. I definitely could be sitting here on EI and claiming to have, mental disorders or whatnot and not be able to work and feeding off the system. And that really was kind of the cards I was dealt and the upbringing that I had. And I chose, this isn't good enough for me. So I had 5 jobs. And I worked my butt off. I put myself through school and I created a name for myself in the industry. And I would say that fuel, that fire to get the heck out of Dodge and build something for myself. I own my home. I'm 35. I'm almost mortgage free. Like, there's not very many people that can say that. Yeah. So
that's impressive.
For me, that fuel and that fire is always there. And I feel like life is a moving goalpost. And for me, what my struggle is fulfillment. I read the book by Tony Robbins, and he talks about how climbing the mountain of life, it's really important for us to stop and pause and take a breath and reflect back on our achievements and really take that in. That's my struggle. For me, I have no problem moving the needle and pushing ahead. As soon as COVID happened and my company was like, oh, we're rolling out Chime Live and we're doing virtual events. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to need to know everything there is to know about Chime Live. And now if you need it built, I can do pretty much anything except for super custom CSS pushing customization. I can do whatever, load bios, agendas, whatever, delegate lists. So I really just kind of always want to wrap my head around it. I was a little bit of a nerd in high school. Aaron can attest to that because he was also the best of the best. Hence why we had to share an award, because you couldn't pick who was geekier, I guess. But yeah, so I would say personal development should be a lifelong journey. And anytime I hear people say, oh, have you read this book? I always write it down. So right now I'm listening to an audiobook called Lynchpin by Seth Godin. And then I'm also reading Principles by Ray Dalio. So, 2 very different books, but both are really great for professional development. And feel free to slide into my DMs. I can give you some good reading material to get you started on your journey, for sure.
So I want to backtrack real quick because I was trying to tune in. I didn't get to hear it all, and I'll throw this to Ed a little bit. Is there anything we didn't cover when it comes to this recording from home with the whole COVID scenario? I was, I heard a little bit about the audio guy you had and your background and everything, and I was really impressed my first thought was, do you ever get annoyed that you know more than the guy behind the board sometimes when he's telling you, oh, we can't do that, and you're like, you could totally do that. Has that scenario ever happened
not
to you?
in the studio, but I get that at work all the time.
And again,
Yeah.
Ed, I'll let you run with that one because you're the audio man more than me.
Well, when multi-pinning came out, right? And
Right.
they were like, "Oh, we can't make a custom gallery view and put people in order by name." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. Like, you can't con the con artist here."
He's just like, I'm
gentlemen."
on a show every Monday that does this. Don't mess with me.
Yeah, no, you guys have been an amazing support system, and I talk about you guys in every sales meeting, every production meeting I go to. I show up knowing a lot more than a typical sales girl would know. So, like, people might see me walk around and dressing pretty and being outgoing, and they think I'm just like, I don't want to say a fluff girl because that's not appropriate, but they just think, oh, she's just another sales girl. And then when you do a show with me and you see how hands-on I am, I'm not afraid to put on my PPE and my steel toes and get in the back of that tractor trailer. That's where people are like, wow, like she's on our level. She gets it. DVE Stores is here. Yeah, he says it's a great book. I agree. What was that? Is that my twin? Is my twin trolling?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So what's Ali
Hey,
Cameron?
twinsies.
She just said Daisy always proves people wrong. If someone tells her she can't do it, she will show she can. You want to dive into that a little bit? Is there a specific scenario she's picking on here?
Yeah, she knows.
Real quick, Omar,
knows.
it's Disa.
Oh, sorry.
I just have to bust your chops.
I've been saying that for months now. She hasn't corrected me.
I correct you every show. What are you talking about?
This is so much fun. Let me tell you right now.
So we should do an episode on Omar where you guys can all just roast me. Is that what we're saying? Just roast me.
Well, we can definitely pin that down, and I
Erase that.
absolutely would be an amazing Wednesday night show, and we'll literally call it the roast of AV Educate.
I just see Ed's eyes like I got tons of material ready.
It's
the
so
roast
funny.
of AV Educate. Let's do this.
I was just thinking how if we do that, we'll all have to phonetically write our names though, so that he knows how to say them.
Yes.
Well, I'm dyslexic, so I'll probably get it wrong either way.
Nothing's not wrong about.
Disa, I did want to ask you about. I saw something that you and I don't know if you where in the process you are, but I had heard that you're applying for the Ottawa 40 under 40. Is that?
Oh gosh, thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, is there a test and you're late to the quiz now?
No, it's coming up, and I need to apply for it. I have a few more years left if I don't get in, but definitely I've been encouraged by somebody that I know, a friend here in Ottawa who works for the Ottawa Business Journal. And he was like, Disa, he keeps sending it to me. He's like, Disa, you got to apply for this. He's done it every year. And then every year I don't apply. So who knows? You never know. I'll be hitting you guys up for a vote, though, for sure.
Just share this episode because clearly you're a top contender with all that you do.
I'm serious. I don't see how you find time to sleep at all. But, I mean, that's just me.
Yeah. No, when I'm as busy as it sounds like you are all the time, I'm not getting 6 hours of sleep. I'm not that efficient, so I end up getting a lot less. I mean, I can't believe you find that much time to even get a block of sleep with how much you're doing. It's crazy.
I just want to bring this one up. So Scott Richards, hopefully I didn't mess that one up. As an AV technician, you must have seen some great keynote and motivational speakers, especially in 2020 with everything you're doing. Are there any that are particularly memorable?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, Scott. You got to ask me about the horror stories. Those are way more memorable, but I would say, way back, there was a gentleman, I don't even remember his name. I have his book, actually, but he went through the desert with nothing but the clothes on his back and some like a water bottle, and figured out how to get water from the plants, and it was insane. And it was all about being resilient, and it was one of those empowering talks. And I would say, it was interestingly enough, I was thinking about buying my first place. So I had a goal to buy my first place by the age of 25. And I got the keys for my 425-foot studio apartment in New Westminster, BC, 2 days after my 26th birthday. So it's a little bit late on that goalpost. But, I was sitting in one of those real estate. It was like an update for realtors. And I was doing sound. It was a stupid little, Mackie 1604 console, and just making sure the podium mic is good. And they said, the right time to buy is when it's the right time for you. Because, everyone kept telling me to wait on the market and da 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 da. So, yeah. So little things like that. Definitely, I would say, yeah, those are the two. But it's been a while. Like, Scott, I don't really see a lot of the content that happens. So, and you probably know, we're just verifying that it looks good and sounds good. It's not so much about getting into the actually enjoying it.
Ed, I'll let you take this one. You muted.
Muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Ed.
Sorry about that. My it's bedtime, so my 3-year-old is, of course, running around screaming. So I muted it. Sorry about that. Randy Regis says, due to the pandemic, how do you increase your marketing strategies towards the virtual platform?
Well, Randy, fortunately, I don't really have to increase marketing strategies. I'm not in the marketing team, but they do send out mailers to let our clients know what are happening. When the pandemic first started, our angle was the AGM. So we were, this is how your AGM could go virtual. And then around Christmas, we were obviously leaning towards the holiday parties and some of the tools that we have for that. And honestly, there's, when any new product comes to market, there's kind of a lull before it really takes off. And what the difference between, and you'll learn this in Principles, or actually Good to Great is the book that I read before Principles. It talks about what takes a small startup company and makes them massive. And it's really that word of mouth. So as we get more clients using our platform, they're telling their friends, they're coming back, they're booking more meetings, they're seeing what's possible. And I would say, our competition event, Moby, the CEO, posted a pretty interesting status update. He had a render of Blockbuster, and it said, what if Netflix had decided that they wanted their online video or viewing service to emulate a real life movie store? And for me, my first thought is, well, why wouldn't we give the client what they want? But he was saying, all these planners who are trying to make their virtual platform look like a real ballroom, create a lobby, create a ballroom experience, create an exhibit hall experience of a render of an exhibit hall. Like, why wouldn't you try and reimagine your event and create something brand new and fresh that has never been done before? And so I just thought that was really cool and really neat. And so I think as more people get more comfortable and maybe let go of the old and be more creative and innovative, and it's going to be people like us that are in the industry that have already been doing it for for me, I actually say that I've started doing virtual and hybrid about 10 years ago as a technician, because we would be broadcasting a town hall from Toronto and I'd be in Vancouver. And, back then people didn't have the capability to watch a live stream in their home. It just wasn't a thing. I don't even think we had like this dial up 1 megabit connection, whatever. Right. So I would set up a big screen and a big projector and have a nice sound system. And then everyone would come and gather 50 or 100 people to watch the live stream of the CEO's town hall. So hybrid and virtual has been around for a long, long time. As a company, our earliest documentation goes back to the mid 90s. And even just so much of a teleconference, I remember setting up a few Getners, the English, the French, and then we email people the PowerPoints to follow along. Hybrid and virtual has been around for a while. People have not been able to fly in from Japan or UK or wherever. Like, this has happened before. I think people kind of forget that. And like I said, just reimagining that experience and being a mentor for our clients, being supportive of our clients, and counseling and consulting them and making them understand what's possible. I think that's going to be the way of the future for sure. Did that answer your question? Hopefully.
That was a great answer for sure. I appreciate that. And I'll shoot it to Ed real quick. He had something he wanted to.
No. Well, so sorry. Yes. So I just got like totally lost in everything you were saying. And I was actually going back to that marketing thing before I get to my last point. We were talking the other day, and you found a way to market yourself as a salesperson that I thought was interesting with the video thing that we were talking about. So you
Vidyard.
Yeah, so you are doing some even though that's not your principal thing, you've marketed yourself and your own personal brand as a salesperson to your clients. So I don't know we have too much time to get into it, but I did want to ask you, what are your plans for the future? What are you looking to do moving forward and next? What's next for Disa?
So personally, professionally, what hat would you like me to wear when I answer this question, Ed?
I mean,
whatever hat you want to answer the question for. How about that one?
Well, so I had this crazy pipe dream back in 2016 that I was going to be a competitive fitness model. So maybe I'll revisit that. I don't know. I lost 25 pounds since COVID, and I'm definitely up in my game. So
I think I found them.
I was going to say, I think I found them for you too, but
yeah,
they're all below about right here.
I don't know that I'll be competitive with it, especially once I went down that whole rabbit hole. I kind of found out a little bit more about that community, and I'm not too interested in being a part of it, especially, to get to the next level. There's a lot of people who are using and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So I'm not really prepared for that. Like, that's not how bad I'm not a very competitive person, but definitely I would love to get some sort of personal training certifications. I already do a little Zoom fitness group. If anyone's interested, it is women's only, but I'm happy to look at bringing something in that the guys can participate in too. So we just do it on Zoom, and I just kind of yell at you, and I learn moves on YouTube and show you how to do them. Way more fun than some silly skinny girl who has no zest to the video. But yeah, so I have tons of fun doing my fitness, and then I also would really love to buy a cottage or build a cottage. That's my 5-year plan. And right now I'm currently single and looking. So that'll be be nice.
Everybody,
yeah.
No.
So
would like to have somebody in my bubble.
So on top of everything we've learned about you tonight, you also lead a fitness group on Zoom. I don't understand.
Yeah, we work out 6 days a week.
What? So you have to have more than 24 hours in your days, because there's no way.
Some witchcraftery at foot.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
I need to borrow some of that.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here, and my evening snack is a homemade donut that my wife made today. That is delicious.
Ooh,
yeah.
Yummy.
So I'm clearly not
Never wrong with
following.
donuts.
Nothing wrong with donuts.
I'm not following your path, Disa, sadly, but.
In the interest of time, it is 9:05, so we always end up going late anyway. Disa, I just want to thank you for being here and sharing your story and all the information that you have with us tonight, even though Omar, invites you on and then bails at the last minute. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. Listen, I love everybody here with every bit of passion. You guys have welcomed me so much into the community, so anything that I can do for you guys, I love doing for you guys. So I would just want to thank you guys for allowing me to be doing what I'm doing here. So that's pretty much how it goes here.
I really just want to thank you guys for having me. I'm super honored. And, when you guys brought me in as a panelist, I was like, they're going to find out. They're going to figure out that I don't really know what the heck I'm doing. They're not like, why do these guys want me around? But you guys have been so supportive. And AV Educate is really, I feel like you guys are going to be a huge instrumental in the diversity that our industry really needs, both with bringing more women in and also more ethnicities as well. I would say for sure, like that's going to be a big focus for Encore, as well as making sure that we're addressing those, and making sure that equal pay, all that good stuff is addressed too. Not that it's a huge issue, but yeah, naturally, you guys, I feel like this community is going to convince a lot of women that you can do it. It's not easy, you know. My requirements for my work was back when I was a technician to be able to lift 65 pounds. So that's where working out comes in. But, I feel like you guys are doing such a great thing. And to the 25 people who have been tuned in this whole time, I can't believe you've listened to me talk for an entire hour. You guys are fabulous. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully they'll leave here and they'll go visit your website and they'll be able to listen to.
Listen, I
some of
already
your
have it up.
music.
I'm going to be jamming out to it here in a little bit, whether it's personally or on stream live. It doesn't matter, but I will be jamming to it one way or another.
Awesome.
And I just want to add, before we close out for the night, obviously, thank you for being here so much. Like everybody else has been saying, the community's been loving that you're here with us. I'm loving the information you've been giving us and the honesty. And honestly, this has been a great talk. I just wanted to real quick say, you made a quick comment about payment stuff, and I totally agree with you. If you can do a job I can do, there shouldn't be a pay issue just because you're a girl. That's ridiculous. And that needs to change in the industry. And I hope that, with us here and everything we're doing, not just Ed and Chris and myself and Austin who are pushing this and driving this, that with people like you and people that are coming with us and helping with us in the community, that we can make these things more normal, because that shouldn't be a reason at all just because you're a female that you should get anything less than what we do. If you can do the same job I can do, you should get the same pay. No questions about it. I'm super. I've said it multiple times on this show and on other episodes we've done. Ed said it, Chris has said it. There's no reason there should be a difference. So hopefully, I hope your vision of us does become reality, because I'd really love to make sure that this is a diverse group as it is becoming to be, and it stays that way, and that conversations like that are happening. And I think maybe we should bring you back for a conversation like that, and get some other women involved who are interested, if they want to, about that. But
well, that is a hot topic for sure.
It is there's a lot of things when it comes to women that I don't feel should be, and a lot of times I feel a little taken back because I don't notice these things, obviously because I'm a male, but I don't notice it because I don't treat women, in my opinion, differently than what they should be treated.
And I think that's the biggest part, without diving into a whole nother subject in a whole nother hour's worth of conversation.
Well, the funny thing is, I have been subject to it. So,
now,
dun, dun, dun. You'll have to stay tuned for that talk. I will tell you.
I definitely agree. We need to do a women in AV type situation, just like Iris said, because I'm like Omar. I don't see any difference. If you can do the same job as me, why shouldn't you garner the same pay as me? It's just plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And I'm with Omar 100%. I don't see it that way, so I don't notice it as much. But I do notice it ever so slightly, where people are like, "Oh, I'm not." First of all, I've noticed I'm going to give you the job over this person because you're a male and that's a female. And I have seen I'm going to pay you this rate over that rate because you're a male and that's a female, and that's wrong. If you can do the same job as me, no matter how skilled or how knowledgeable I am, you might be more knowledgeable than me, but they don't want to hire you, and that's a problem. So again, without going on a whole nother tangent here, that's where I'm just going to leave it at. I feel
that's you not going on a tangent, Bodie.
I can go on an hour rant on this. Listen, I have literally done. I did a 24-hour stream. 2 hours of my stream was talking about how women in the industry are completely bastardized for being women in the industry. And that's my take on it. I'm new to the industry, and I might get thrown out of it before I even freaking get into it, because that's how I feel. That's just my take on it. So.
I really hope that all the perseverance that I have had in the last 15 years will help pave the way for women in AV. And honestly, if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to have those candid conversations and those open conversations. It's not always easy, but believe me, as much as I want diversity, I also feel like we need people who know the job. So, this is not glamorous. I have been in the back of a tractor trailer at 4 a.m. being yelled at that am not strong enough to help lift boxes and that sort of thing. So, like it's not glamorous, and it's like, okay, I'm here at 4 a.m. with my steel toes on like everyone else, and I've been here for 20 hours. So leave me the F alone, let's just load this truck and get out of here. Who cares if I'm a girl? But yeah, so very hot topic for sure. And I don't think my employers would want my name on that if I participate in that one. But yeah, for sure. It's challenging, but you still have to be able to do the work. You still have to know how to connect a mixing console. You still have to know how to ring out a room without your friggin' cell phone. Yeah, there's a lot of tools to make it easy for the next generation for sure. But I think that those fundamentals still need to be there, and you need to have a great work ethic because our clients are going to call us on our bull S, so.
And on that note, I'm going to kill it before we keep going on this, but I will say to what you're saying just now, if we need to hold that torch, AV Educate will definitely hold it up, because the three of us are shaking our head, yes, we're believers in that. And if any woman's afraid to do that, we'll help you hold it up, and we'll push it. So I'm not about the whole, make a whole girls section separate from the men's section. Like, we need to coexist. That's a whole other conversation. But anyways, I'm going to close it out with the sponsor for tonight. Thank you.
I just don't want to share my bathroom with you guys, okay?
Anyways, thank you for being here tonight, everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comments in the community and everybody. Thank you for letting me on, guys. I'm sorry that I came on so late. I had another award going on here tonight. I'm in Texas, and honestly, I totally forgot about the time shift. And Chris and Ed were like, you're an hour behind us, right? And I was like, oh, yeah. So who's going to come on tonight? So that's how that went down. But again, I'm going to throw this sponsor up real quick. Thank you guys for being here again. And again, we'll see you Monday. And Ed, do you want to real quick, Monday night, what we got going on?
So Monday night, we are looking at Jeff Widgren and I are going to lead a conversation on Zoom meetings, tips, tricks, and new feature reviews. So we're going to look at some of the new features. The last time we did a Zoom episode was back in the summer. So we're going to look at what's evolved since then. What are some of the tips and tricks that we found to make your meetings easier to run or up the production value for, making it a little bit better of a Zoom experience, even if you're still staying within the Zoom platform. So that's Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time on AV Tech Talks. And we did get a new webinar account thanks to our friends at the DVE store. So if you join our webinar, it'll be in full 1080p. And we're looking to stream to some more places soon too. So a lot of stuff coming up.
Thank you for that. And for the podcast side, we're sponsored by And again, thank you all for being here. We'll see you next time. We'll see you Monday, and we'll see you Wednesday.